Hey, it's Nate from Navigator Bookkeeping, and I'm here today talking about high interest savings accounts. Been getting a lot of questions lately from practice owners who are thinking about transferring banks, or at least partially transferring banks, because they're hearing about all these interest rates, and interest rates are up. Now, if you're buying a house or a car, that's not good news because your interest is going to be a lot more. But if you're saving money, it is good news because there's a lot of savings accounts right now that have pretty high interest rates compared to anything we've seen in the recent future. I mean, until the last couple of years, especially this year and last, interest rates at high yield accounts or even CDs were a couple percentage points. Checking accounts usually are no interest or 0.01% interest, right? Now, though, we're seeing accounts, savings accounts that are offering 2%, 3%, 4, 5% even, and that's pretty common. Like if you drive down the road and you look at banks, they're usually offering accounts at those rates. So here's the question. If you're a business owner, where should you be parking your hard-earned cash? Now, if you're using Profit First, which maybe if you're watching this video, you're aware of Profit First, you're using Profit First, your tax account and your vault account especially are great candidates for a high interest savings account because that money's just going to be sitting there most of the year and you can just pop that into a high yield savings account. For example, let's say you have $10,000 in your tax account. You're going to have to pay most of that at the end of the year. So it's your money, but it has a purpose, right? You're not going to keep it forever. If you put that into an account with 5% interest, it's going to be $500 of interest at the end of the year, basically for free, just for sitting there. Now you might be saying 5% interest, I can't find that anywhere. Well, QuickBooks Checking right now is 5% interest. So it's a real thing. Just go into QuickBooks, you can apply for that account. It's pretty easy. Now let's talk about where to go for your business savings account, high interest rate. I'm going to give you two options. There's more. There's local banks, there's CDs, there's all kinds of things. So these are not your only two options, but a lot of practice owners lately have been asking me for recommendations, so here you are. Option number one, if you want the most high interest rate possible, right? You want top of the line. If you have a lot of money that you're going to have a savings account for, whether that's a big vault account, a couple months of savings, or whether that's just a tax account with a lot of money, QuickBooks Checking is a good option. 5% interest. You can set up to 9 envelopes and have different accounts set up in there. I personally run my own Profit First through QuickBooks Checking. It works pretty well. And I get 5% interest on every single one of those envelopes. I'll tell you, I have 9 envelopes, so I've maxed it out. Now I'm kind of stuck. I can't add any more envelopes. So that is a downside. But the 5% interest is awesome. I've made quite a bit of interest just in the last year, just from that money sitting there doing nothing, right? I wasn't going to move that money and have it do anything else otherwise. And it's still completely liquid, which just means that I can pull it out at any time. It's not in a CD. It's not going to get locked in. It's not in an investment. It just sits there. Now, I'll tell you the downsides of QuickBooks. Like I said, it's only 9 envelopes, which for most people is not a problem. I just love Profit First and I love budgeting and moving money around, so I have too many probably. So for most people, that's not a big downside. But the other thing is QuickBooks Checking doesn't work super well with transferring money in and out with certain things. For example, if you need to connect a payment processor, it doesn't always work super well. If you need to connect to another bank, you can't usually log in and find it. You have to kind of do the manual connection. So if you're trying to get all of your money coming into that account, if you're a practice owner, you're going to be working with different insurances or a different payment processor, it may not be the best option for your kind of main income or operating account, but it's a great option for those savings accounts. So it might be a situation where you have your income, your operating account at kind of your more traditional bank, and then QuickBooks can be where your savings are parked. So emergency savings, tax savings. So that's your first option, 5% savings, nothing to sneeze at. It's going to make you a lot of extra money for free. Second option, this is a little bit more of a traditional bank, though it's pretty far from traditional still. Relay Bank. Now, you've probably heard about Relay Bank. They're kind of going on a marketing blitz right now. They're the official bank of Profit First. You can open up multiple accounts, and the cool thing with them is that each of their accounts are a completely separate account with its own routing number, account number. So in QuickBooks, you have the envelopes. In Relay, you have separate accounts, and I think you can do up to 20, so it's pretty cool. They also have a lot of cool integrations, so it connects really simply to QuickBooks. It pulls in a lot of information so that classifying transactions is a lot easier. It connects to Gusto if you're doing your payroll through Gusto. It automatically makes sure you have enough money in your account to run payroll, so you're not going to overdraft. So there's some super cool things like that they do. They have great customer service, very customer centric. It's a newer option, and they're very geared towards the consumer, which is pretty fun. Now, the downside of Relay is that the interest rates are not going to be as high as QuickBooks. In Relay, you can have, I believe it's 2 accounts that are interest bearing, and those accounts are going to be between 1 and 3% interest. So it's not the 5%, but still between 1 and 3%. And that rate varies depending on how much money is in there. The more money you put in, the higher rate you're going to get, basically, is how it goes. So interest is going to jump off a little bit. For most of us, that's not going to make a huge difference. Maybe that makes a difference of $100 or $200 in a year. If you have a lot of money, in your checks account, in your savings account, then maybe it does make sense to keep it in QuickBooks or to use both options as kind of a hybrid. But Relay is really nice from a functionality point of view. Super easy to set up. You can just log in, get it set up, connect all the people you want to get it connected to, bookkeepers, accountants, anyone on your team. You can run bill pay through it. I really like it. I'm really impressed by what I'm seeing there. And I think they're just going about things in a cool way. Like I said, they're very consumer centric. They're very helpful on onboarding, connecting, things like that. So you're going to have lower interest rates, but you can open more accounts. You can transfer between all those accounts very easily. And it's more of a traditional connection. So as far as connecting your income or your expenses into that account, it's going to be a little bit more doable because it's set up more like a traditional bank on that side, even though it's far from a traditional bank. It's virtual only. There's not a physical presence. But I really like them. I think that's a good option as well. So there's 2 options for you. QuickBooks, which is really high interest. Relay, which has a lot of super cool features, lower interest, but still interest. Either way, I think if you're not having your savings in an interest-bearing account right now, you're missing out. It's free money. It's one of the upsides of the high interest economy we're in right now, which is not necessarily a good thing, right? Things are pretty expensive. But while we're living in this kind of expensive world, let's at least get some interest for our savings and park in one of those accounts. If you have any questions about this, about how to do these or the functionality of any of these, let me know. Happy to help. And if you found any other good options, leave it in a comment below this video and we'll check it out. All right, we'll see you in the next video.